Welcome back to another episode of Ghosted with Criss and Paige. I'm your co-host, Paige.
And I'm Criss. Today we're here with two very special people. My favorite Argentlemen from Argento Studios, Vince and Eriq.
Ayo.
Thank you for having me.
Ayo, what up?
Guys, we got some very special news. What is this? This is episode 10 right here. And on episode 10, we got some big things. We'll be moving to a new date, or rather a new day of the week, getting on our spooky Saturdays.
Spooky Saturdays.
Right, exactly. So that'll be a little bit of a change. Today we're announcing the fact that we'll be going under Argento Studios when we're rolling out.
Ayo.
You'll probably see a little watermark on the YouTube video now of headphones in the corner, and that'll be us.
No, it's just going to be my face on the picture. And you're not going to know about it. I'm going to upload it too. He's like, no, don't worry, man. Just give me the login. I'll upload it.
Don't worry. Oh, yeah, I rendered your video. Here it is. It's just my face.
It's just Vince, the whole thing.
No, I sat in there in front of a camera for an hour just going like this.
We got rid of the wiggle worm strictly so Vince.
We just have Vince mouthing the whole episode, guys. Don't worry.
Oh, man.
Get ready. Here we come.
But yeah, so today it's very exciting. It's a whole new type of thing. We've been talking about it for a month and a half or so.
Something like that, yeah.
And now it's time to really roll it on out there. And I'm super excited because, you know, you guys render the YouTube videos anyway now. So it's like, at this point, I'm glad that I can include all of you in the process.
Teamwork.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we already teamwork pretty much everything else we ever put our hands on. So
Exactly.
it only makes sense.
Exactly.
Do either one of you want to explain what Argento Studios and everything is? Because we didn't say that.
Yeah.
We should probably explain how this started and how you guys came together and what exactly Argento is.
The quick and dirty is Criss and I with a handful of our other friends. Tom is one of them who's still in the fold. Had set out to start a recording studio of some sort. And we had a few other artists lined up with us. Our producer, that's just Scotty, a.k.a. Scotty Reeves, a.k.a. the Young Stunner, was one of the first guys I've reached out to as far as working with us as a producer. We had some other rappers in the fold at first, and things didn't really work out well with them. And then the three of us were all in a band together at one point, and then that kind of fell off at one point. And at one point, it was decided between the three of us that we would revitalize Argento Studios. And we've been doing live sessions leading up to the pandemic. And when the pandemic hit and we couldn't have concerts in my basement anymore, we started doing other things. And like Argento Gaming is one of our newest series that we've been doing that we enjoy a lot of.
One of my favorite. I honestly love. I can't wait.
Wait till the Mario Kart episode drops.
Oh, so good. Everyone make sure you go follow this. You go follow them because honestly, you will be entertained.
Yeah, I mean, like we're at this point, we're like an entertainment conglomerate. I appreciate your kind words, Paige.
Of course, I get excited when Criss is like editing or like filming. I'm like, "What's happening? I want to know. Let me watch."
Yeah,
I was like, "Come on."
Yeah, we all encompass a lot of things now. We make animations,
constantly creating different content. Throughout
I was
every
filming
single
a music video yesterday.
So cool. I saw that.
We can get more into that between the three of us later when we're not doing Ghosted, but it did go very well.
But that being said, I think we've been spreading out further and further, and we've been just slowly putting out different things left and right to try and get the ball rolling in whatever way possible. And every time, things start working out pretty well.
Yeah. Wouldn't you fucking look at that, man?
Yeah. So, we want to keep the ball rolling audio-wise, and, what better way than to have a podcast? Right?
Yeah.
So
a lot easier to do that remotely than to film. So
exactly.
Yes.
It's so much easier to get voices than full-ass video images.
Exactly.
Especially if there's an instrument involved.
But yeah, so that's that's Argento Studios for you in a nice, neat little ball.
Perfect.
And
Shout out any handles, socials now. Might as well.
Yeah, guys. Handles.
We'll fucking have them all up on the screen.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah. Show notes below. Show notes below, guys. Don't worry. It'll all be there.
Yeah, Argento Studios. Type that in and you'll start finding stuff.
See what you get.
Exactly.
Yeah, it'll be in the description wherever it may be.
So I guess now that that's said, let's get the ghosted ball rolling.
Ooh,
Yep.
And usually our first question to either of you, and either of you can answer, what was your first paranormal encounter if you've ever
If you've had one?
I haven't had shit, so Eriq, you can go right ahead.
Dank.
I've had quite a few in the last, 2 years. But, since I was younger, I've kind of always had experience with, that kind of spiritual, ghosty stuff. For one instance, now it could have been a dream, but it sounded too real to be a dream.
Okay.
I had to have been maybe 10 or 11. And I like staying up. It's the summer, playing video games, whatever. I pass out on my couch, fall asleep. I don't know what time I woke up. Had to have been 4 a.m. or something like that. The sun was still down. It was still dark outside. But while I'm sleeping, I hear this whisper of a voice. I go,
Uh-oh.
Eriq. Mind you, it didn't sound like it was feet away. It sounded like it was right in my ear. And I jump out of my sleep immediately. Stand up. I'm like, what was that? Mind you, the TV's still on because this is before the TV's turned off by themselves.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So it's still going.
The TV's still chilling on and stuff. And I'm just like, all right, it's pitch black. Only thing I can see is the light from the TV. Nobody's around. All the lights are off. I'm like, nope. Turn the TV off, sprint upstairs.
It was a commercial just for you from the TV.
Oh my god.
It was just like, Eriq, watch me.
Yeah, no, I was definitely out of there. And I just went straight to sleep. Had to hide under my covers.
I would have jumped out of my skin. Absolutely. I would have just been bones.
That's what
Bye.
it felt like. I was shook. And then another instance, since the pandemic's it's dying down now, but when quarantine essentially started, I had moved into my girlfriend's house, apartment, which is kind of close to here. She lives in the one bedroom, right? So we're in the bedroom sleeping, and she turns the TV off. And mind you, I wasn't staying here regularly. So this is the first week or so that I'm staying here regularly.
Still getting used to everything.
Yeah.
Right. So I turn over to go to sleep, and I see the TV turns back on by itself. So she goes, mind you, she's calm about it. So she goes, oh, it does that once in a while. Turns it back off. I'm like,
oh,
all right, I guess that's normal. We'll just rock with that.
Okay.
And then I feel a slight breeze, the wind. Mind you, the air conditioner's on, so it could have been that.
Okay.
Yeah, we gotta debunk stuff. We gotta be logical. We gotta be practical.
So I'll let that slide. That's what I guess that's what that was. And then all of a sudden the thing blinks again, the little light on the corner of the TV, and then it turns on again. And I'm just like,
The fuck?
It does that too, I guess, twice in a row. So when it turns back on, she's like, did you turn it on? I'm like, I don't have the remote. How did I turn it on?
Yeah.
So she's like, okay. Turns it off. And then quickly after that, maybe 2 minutes, all of the power just shuts out in the entire complex, right?
Whoa.
So we're both freaking out because I heard a noise. It's just zoo.
Oh, I hate that
Everything
noise.
just goes out. So
That
it's like-
is my favorite. Let me tell you, especially when it's 9, 10 o'clock at night. I love hearing the noise because I know it's going to be dark as hell and I am going to be panicking like no one's business.
So,
So much fun.
and I'm thinking to myself, when the TV's turning on, Like, and I felt the breeze. I'm just like, oh yeah, something wants to watch TV. Like, obviously it's bored. It wants to watch TV.
What's on late night? Let's see.
And I'm thinking like, whoa, yeah, there's definitely got to be something here, because I didn't feel it in my. All right, before I say this, so when I have like, I guess the spiritual interactions, my left arm tingles and it like feels kind of funky, and I can't explain it.
You got some Danny Phantom shit going on.
And it's only my left arm.
Where on your left arm? No, dead ass. Is it where you fell through a window?
No.
Okay.
It's my entire left arm.
Okay, I got you.
I can't really move my hand, so that's when I know.
Oh my God.
So like, that didn't happen at that time, but I was just like, oh, there's definitely something not.
It still feels off.
Yeah.
Wait, you can't use your left hand when a ghost is around?
Not that I can't use it, but it's very weak, and it's more
You
of an effort.
left-handed, right?
Yes.
Them ghosts know that you better stole off on them.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what
Wait
it
a
is.
second. We need to make sure that his arm is disabled.
And then for my last experience recently, at my girlfriend's apartment again, I'm thinking there's something there.
I think you might be onto something here.
We were both in the kitchen now. So we come back from food shopping. She's getting ready to make whatever she's going to eat for lunch. We go kind of early. So we're going to make lunch. So I'm making my sandwich, and she's by the stove. So both of our keys are on these little hooks that she put on the wall, and they're just chilling. And we're talking, and then all of a sudden, it sounds like somebody jingles keys.
Oh no.
But it doesn't sound like it's by the door. It doesn't sound like it's by the window.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's in the middle of the room. Like
In the middle of like the dining, like kitchen.
Like where we watch TV and stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, by the
Literally
couch?
Yes. Right in the middle of there, it sounds like somebody just shakes keys. Ching ching. I'm just like, we look at each other. We froze, like instantly froze, and we stared at each other. She's like, what was that? And I was like, I don't know.
You have your keys? You have your keys?
And I started to feel my arm, and I'm just like, uh-oh. So I'm like, all right, gotta brave face this. Gotta go in there, pretend like I know what's going to happen. Go out there. I go look. There's nothing there. I'm just like, what was that?
God.
So then we check our keys to make sure it sounded similar, but it didn't sound like any of our keys.
Bruh.
Like, it sounded like a janitor had like 36 keys.
Oh, like the
and
big ring
just,
of keys.
And it's
Oh
like,
no.
and I'm just like, bruh, what the, like, what do I, like, immediately get my brother, because we're into all that stuff, get Sage, had to sage the whole apartment.
Yeah, sage that shit down. Absolutely.
And then he tells me, confirms what I'm thinking. He's like, yeah, I feel something here too. Like, it doesn't feel like it's dangerous or strong or anything like that, but there's definitely...
It does feel.
I do feel something. And he's like, all right, well, we sage it. If it comes back, I mean, there's nothing you can really do aside from just, like, either ignore it or just keep saging it. Right. Well, moving too.
We bring our ghost equipment over. We be like, hello, who's here?
And I'm thinking it's just like, it's probably somebody that was already in the apartment or something that was already in the apartment, or hopefully it's nothing from the downstairs neighbors or following us.
Yeah, you can.
Hopefully it was just on the property even.
That's what I'm saying.
Just chilling.
Like,
Maybe it was like an old super or someone, maintenance person, if it sounded like they had a lot of keys or something.
Yeah, that's actually a good point.
Like
Yeah.
maybe it was someone who's
That
like,
means
hey,
that-
checking in on you, being like, hi.
just a normal,
He's
come
just
check
trying
the
to
apartment.
fix some of your, your utilities, your appliances.
He came back to check on the TV. It's okay.
Oh, that makes sense.
Damn, this thing keeps turning on and off. I'll fix it one of these days.
That's my experience so far with like.
I
the
think
ghost
like
stuff.
the closest I've had to a supernatural experience is just something that I think happened, but no one fucking believes me.
Okay.
And it was like when I was like 14 or something, I was laying in bed and I had like either not late enough where I had fallen asleep yet, or like an instance where I woke up at like 1 a.m. in the middle of the night and I was awake. And I had been awake for a little while. I was chilling in my bed, couldn't fall asleep. And like, as I'm trying to fall asleep, it starts to sound like I'm hearing like a conversation, like a muffled conversation, like in my neighbor's backyard or something. Okay. And like, I really didn't think anything of it at first because I was starting to fall asleep, but then it starts to get a little louder. And then I hear a woman yelling, "Please, no, no." And then I just hear boom and a light flash. And I was like,
oh,
yeah.
shit.
It's like 1:30 in the morning. I'm sitting there in my room like fucking, what's that, the prehistoric SpongeBob meme? Like,
yeah, where you're Sponge Gar and you're like, whoa.
Because I was like, dude, what the fuck do I do? And I just like I went by the window and I'm looking out the window. I'm looking to see if there's anybody running around, like trying to run through the backyards out of the area. Yeah. And it's like, nope, nothing there. And it's like, I'm looking out the window, nothing.
Didn't you ask your parents? Like, yeah. You were telling me about this.
I'm sorry to wake y'all up. I know I'm way too old to be doing this, but it sounds like someone just got shot in the backyard or something like that. And my dad was just like, what?
whoa, Vincent.
Like me, like I think my dad like looked out in the yard, like through you know, all the different rooms on the top floor of the house. My brother wasn't living home at the time, and like they both were like, "I think you just had a dream, Vince. Go back to sleep." I'm like, "Fuck, I was awake."
I know what I heard.
No, I was awake. He's like, "No, I think you just dreamed it, and then you woke up." I'm like,
I know what I seen.
That's the closest I've had to it. None of the neighbors heard anything. There was no news reports. Nobody went missing after apparently being shot.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the fuck.
This was a few years ago.
Aliens.
Yeah, I remember you being like, yeah, so
someone might have got shot out my way. Yeah.
Yeah, someone got goofed.
That's like the closest I've had to a supernatural experience. I think that my theory. I have two working theories.
Okay.
One that's more legitimate and
based in reality.
That those that have passed on know who can communicate with them and who can hear them and who can see them and who can't.
Yeah.
And they know for a fact that I cannot hear a damn thing from them. I can barely hear and see the living.
This kid's fucked. We'll skip him.
So I think that if I've ever lived, I've either been lucky enough to have never lived in a home that had any spirits of any kind, or if they were there, I am just so out of tune from the undead realm that they don't even bother trying to fuck with move a cup on.
That's kind of rad, though.
Is that they're very good at reading people, and they know that out of everything every scary movie I ever saw as a kid, the thing that terrified me was the most was always ghosts. Because you can punch a vampire, you can kick a fucking werewolf down a set of stairs and buy yourself a little bit of time if you gotta. You can lock a door. If you got a titanium cage, you can hide in there.
You could push a clown in a closet.
This is true.
You can run as far as you want. That ghost is gonna follow. You could throw a crowbar at it. You could hit it with a shotgun. None of that shit's gonna help if it's a ghost.
Well,
there's only one solution, and you're gonna have to
burn the house down and run away.
No, that's protocol for spiders.
You're gonna have to pop yourself and go fight the spirit on their terms.
Honestly.
Bring the gun.
No.
I got something for you.
I'll tell you right now,
Ghost
if
Rambo.
I become a spirit, they gonna make a movie about me called The Spirit Boxer. It's gonna be about how I fucking offed myself with rat poison temporarily to go box ghosts.
The Ghost World Heavyweight Champion.
I'm gonna go fight the ghost of Jack Dempsey.
Yo.
I think you killed Criss. He'll go first.
Oh no! I'll watch in the ghost dance.
You guys are crying. Oh my god. That was ridiculous. Oh man.
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
That's where I sit with ghosts. I think I think they know that I'm just not gonna be able to handle their ghostiness, and that it's just gonna lead to problems with me, and I'm just gonna be so fucking terrified that they have sympathy for me when they say, you know what, that guy can't handle it. Even if we just float by in the room and wave and say hello, that guy's gonna lose his shit. He's gonna sell the house. He's gonna move, whatever it is.
You know,
He's done nothing wrong to us. just let him be.
It's very Lovecraftian because they say when you're exposed to that higher power being, it causes madness in mortals, like seeing Cthulhu peering into that void kind of just causes insanity pretty like right off the base. So, you know, maybe they're just like opt to like, I'm not going to deal with that. That's going to cause more problem. Maybe they get like Ghost Tinder. Like, all right, I'm going to swipe left on this one. He's going to freak out too much.
I can't handle that.
Exactly. You know what? It was like
That's too much commitment.
you guys had the guy on the show a couple weeks ago that that had called in that had been able to hear
The voices of the dead.
the voices of the dead whenever he went past a graveyard.
Oh, Mike,
But, like,
yeah. Shout
How,
out
like,
Champ
he,
Wade.
he kind of described it as like, I'm at a point where it's like I drive past the graveyard and I'm just like, oh, there's the voices again, and then he just kind of keeps it pushing, and it's like some people have the mental capacity where they when they hear ghosts, it's just like, all right,
Gotta go to work.
But it is like Paige,
Me.
how it's just like, oh, there goes Marie. Like,
Exactly.
like for me, if I saw Marie. Your house now. Hold on.
Oh, I'm wondering if it really was something paranormal with you. I wonder if maybe it was residual energy, just a time stamp that just replayed itself.
It's weird because it only happened once, and I lived in that house my whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
that's.
one else has ever had any ghosty experiences at that house.
You have never the few times I've been to your house.
I've never felt a
doesn't
goddamn
feel
thing in your house.
haunted. It doesn't feel. It just feels like a home.
And what's weird is it's 100-year-old house too.
And I've slept there hella times.
Yeah, I think the family that bought it, my family bought it from, had lived there for a very long time, and that like they may have bought it from the original owners. So it's like it's an old ass house.
Yeah.
But it hasn't changed too many hands. There hasn't been too many people there. And it's like the family that sold it to my family were all like alive and in good health when they sold the house.
Ah, that's pretty
Yeah.
dank. That's a good sign.
They walked past when we were doing, you remember the Red Bank fireworks way back in the day when I was like 12 years old? I was like talking to my next door neighbor in front of their house. And then someone was like, oh, look how nice this house used to be. I used to live there. And I was like, well, wouldn't you know, mister, I live there now too. Wow. But like, they were all like, you know, my parents' age at the time, and it seemed like no one died there, and it seemed like it was never really haunted. Me and my brother, and they never saw nothing weird, never felt nothing weird.
Your basement
Yeah.
isn't even creepy, which is weird.
Other than my brother himself, I never saw anything weird. Shout out, Joe. I hope you're doing all right.
Oh, these beats are making me paranormal. Holy shit. Yeah, that's. I mean, it sounds like because it should have been experienced by other people.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
Yeah.
big old flash. Please don't. Like, oh, okay. You know, usually people respond to
feel
that.
And it's like, you know, my next door neighbors would have heard that shit too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But the thing is like, is there such a thing as like is there like a spirits that travel? Like, even though they're stuck in time, does that phrase in time move around and randomly other people will just see it randomly? Is that a thing?
I mean, it could have been. I was like, while you're talking, I was thinking about this. Maybe it could have been, you said it happened outside, so maybe it was just something from another house. It didn't have to be just on the property. It doesn't have to be your house.
That's true.
Because if you think about it, I've heard a lot of people talk about this, like, you know, time isn't linear. Time, like, things that have happened in the past, they're replaying somewhere out there. Everything's just replaying itself. So, I
Right.
mean, doesn't mean it has to happen every day at the same time, this or that. It could just happen once.
Have you guys ever heard of like, or at least thought about reincarnation?
Yes, I am a 100% believer.
So maybe what you saw did happen, but it was in your past life and didn't happen.
Ooh, that's a good one.
So
Okay.
you could have lived that situation. You
got
probably
shot.
were a witness to that situation, but it just wasn't you right now.
Or you got shot.
Yeah.
Or you were
Huh.
the girl. Because you come back in so many different forms.
Oh yeah. You do.
You know, sometimes they say.
I feel like if that was the case, I would have been witness to it happening because I didn't feel anything. I
That's
just
true.
heard.
Yeah, I feel like
heard
you would have
the distant
experienced more.
conversation, and then I heard it get louder as their voices got louder, and it seemed more like, if anything, like I could have been in like a Brooklyn apartment and someone was getting shot in the fucking alleyway. in the fucking 50s or whatever.
A kitty
you know what I mean?
Genovese.
That's more
Yeah.
what it. If anything, that's where I would chalk it up to.
Gotcha. That's so interesting, though. You know, that makes me
Good,
think. So for the last 2-3 years, randomly at night, I would hear, like, I'd have my windows open. I'd be sitting in my living room by like on the couch. I'd be by the window, and I'd hear what sounds like a girl screaming for help. And it scares the shit out of me every time it happens. And at first, I was like, am I having a mental breakdown? Like, this can't be, like, what's happening? Because I'm the only one who would hear it. But we, sorry. But yeah, so we would hear it so many times. And the one night, I think this was like 4 or 5 months ago, my family, so I think my mom actually heard it with me. So I knew I wasn't going crazy. We had to call the cops and make a report and everything. But, like, it just, all of a sudden, you just hear a girl screaming for help. Out of nowhere, in the middle of the night. Chris, did you ever hear that with me at my house? I think you did once in my driveway. The girl screaming for help.
No, in your driveway.
Yeah, we were standing outside.
Was it you?
It was. I'm gonna
No?
throw something.
I'm
at
sorry, I wasn't in here. I had to.
I know. Yeah, I know. You had business to take care of.
Yeah, I got dragged to hell. I'm sorry.
No.
Grab the axe off the wall behind you and hit Chris in the head.
Yes. Get ready. But no, so you know about this. I randomly every few months would hear someone scream for help. If we have the windows open, it's later at night. We'll hear a woman scream for help. And one night we were in the driveway. You were with me. We heard someone yell for help, and you popped your head out from behind the car, and you're like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. But why was? Oh, yeah. But why? Where?
We don't know. Like, it sounds like it's on my street. I'm like, my road is right off of like more like a main-ish road, but like we had no clue what direction it came from. And so finally, the last time
It's
it
right
happened,
off the highway too.
Yeah. A few months ago, I literally called the cops because I was like, all right, Chris has heard it once with me. My mom has now heard it. I'm going to call the cops because I'm convinced my neighbors are not who they say they are, and someone has a girl trapped in a basement because that's literally, but that's what it sounded like. This girl screams for help. And it's like, help me. Like, it's so loud, and then all of a sudden it's cut off, and I don't hear it again. And, like, I know this is not a good response, but I run outside each time and look because I'm just like, holy crap, what is going on?
Please don't get Dukes now.
I just run to my porch, so I'm not too far.
Okay.
But it's crazy. It's like, well, is this really happening? Is this is this true crime, like true crime hoo-ha, or is this paranormal? like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going on with that one. But you saying that, like, this one instance has happened out of nowhere and no one else hears it. Like, for the longest time, no one else had heard anyone yelling for help. So I was just like, oh, it makes me think of that.
Yeah.
Well, don't deny whatever you're seeing or hearing because when you start to do that, you lose the ability to experience it.
That's true. I feel like I'm too open to this stuff now because I'm like, I always want to believe like, okay, this is happening, but I always have to keep myself in check too to be like, all right, what's actually happening?
Bring it in.
I can get as excited as I want, but I always have to bring it in, assess the situation, and see what's going on. Because if not, then I'm not doing my job right.
Then
I shouldn't be doing a podcast,
right? Well, that's there are very many people who don't qualify to be doing a podcast who are doing a podcast, so don't feel that bad.
Thank you.
But that being said, Jesus friggin' Christ, how about we stick away from no spooky properties? How about we make sure that the property is ghost-free and history-free, just to make sure, and we'll stay away from that because
Where's the fun there?
I don't like those the nebulous events that kind of just happen and then just as fast as they happen, they suck right back out of reality. That's the worst.
I guess you're not coming over to my house ever again.
Uh-oh. Where am I sleeping tonight?
Ruh-roh. Well, on that note, I guess, so we have some submissions from Reddit. I went into the Ghost Story subreddit and I asked...
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out to everyone who submitted. So we have the first few stories from that. I got some really great ones. I also have a bonus story from my grandmother, who has been reluctant to tell me her alien story, like the whole 26 years I've been alive. So, like,
Well,
that's a
actually,
doozy.
now let me just interject there. She did tell you your alien story because you are also part alien, and she has confirmed this multiple times that you and your cousins are also part alien.
So my grandmother told she has 3 granddaughters. She told the 3 of us growing up that the big heater in the basement and like the unfinished side of the basement was our family's spaceship, and that we were alien people and we weren't human. And she convinced us so much that my cousin went to school and drew a picture and told her teachers that she's part alien, and my aunt and uncle got called into the school for a meeting.
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
Yeah, well, when you see a kid draw something that looks like a giant, like, space time machine or heater or something, they're like, this is where my family lives. You're like, oh, no. Oh, we got to call
Child
someone.
I have a unfortunate development. Apparently, my landlords are like hovering around the property and are about to try to come in soon.
Oh. Oh, no.
We want to try to get one story in
Yeah.
before I call out, and then you guys want to finish the rest without me.
Yeah, I guess we'll
sure.
have
Do
to.
you- Dealer's choice. Do you want one of our Reddit stories, or would you like my grandmother's story?
I kind of want to hear the grandma's alien story if I'm going to
Alright.
have to.
That's A-okay.
All right.
battle. I apologize. My landlords really just threw this on us, and I want to have to keep pushing doing this. So.
Yeah, no, not a problem. All right, so according to my grandmother, who doesn't want me to say which grandmother she is because
The grandmother.
she's like, I'm crazy. So, in the 80s and 90s, my grandma was driving home late at night from choir practice. The street was empty, not another person in sight, when all of a sudden her car stopped dead in the street. She couldn't get it to turn back on. Suddenly, lights in the sky drew her eyes upward, only to see a giant oval-shaped ship hovering above her. It had lights and windows going all the way around, and she could see shadows of unidentified figures passing through the windows.
Vince got dragged to hell by the demons called
This
landlords.
happens too much on our podcast.
Apparently, we might be a little demonic. We have had multiple confirmed cases of people being dragged to hell during our podcast.
First Christian in episode 5.
I know.
You
Me?
minutes earlier. Now Vince. This is
Vince,
3.
Eriq. Just hold on to the table.
Yeah.
Don't let them roll you out.
for any other guests,
Go down there.
we're going to have to bring like duct tape, Velcro, something.
Holy water. A
Across.
giant net.
So,
Where was
an
I?
Oblong ship, like an egg? Like an egg ship?
She said it's like a stereotypical like oval shaped ship you would see in like pop culture, like the big dome
Like a
thing.
UFO.
Yeah, just like a
The
typical
way-
UFO, the circle.
Okay.
And so, where's my place? Where
And
I
we're
almost wrote
shouting a
this all
big
out.
message: drink your Ovaltine.
Oh my goodness.
Big oval in the sky after choir
Yes,
practice.
I found it. She wasn't sure if she. So whatever I wrote autocorrected to not the right thing. So basically, she sees this big UFO. I can go off my notes now. She sees this big unidentified thing, and she's like frozen. She's not afraid. She just is like stuck, and she's staring up at this thing. And as fast as it came is as fast as it like went away. It started zigzagging in a very odd and an odd way, and super fast, like nothing like she's ever seen before.
Would you explain that way to be alien?
Yes, I would. Yes, I would. But yeah, she, and as soon as it disappeared, it was her car like turned back on. Her car started up again by itself.
That EMP from the UFO.
It was just like
I was just thinking that. So many people say that.
It was super creepy, and no one else was around. And at the time she lived in Hope Lawn, which is a really, really small town in New Jersey, and it's right next to Perth Amboy. So the church she was going to was in Perth Amboy, and she was near a reservoir. So she's not sure if it's because she was over there and it was late at night,
They're
or like
swamp gases, as they say.
she wasn't sure. So she went home. She tells her husband of the time and her youngest daughter, and they're making fun of her. They're like, "You're crazy. You're stupid. You didn't see that. Whatever. They're being really mean about it. So she's like, well, do I call the police? And they mock her even more. She's like, all right, I won't call the police, but I'll call like the local paper. So she winds up calling. I don't know if it's the same night or the next day, but she calls the paper, and they're like, you wouldn't believe it, but we've had like dozens of phone calls about this happening last night or like that night. And she was like, okay, well, here's my account, like, here's my, like, story. And yeah, and that was 80s or 90s. She's never seen anything like it again. She was like, I sound crazy. She's like, but it's not like I'm saying that they beamed me up and, like, took over me. She's like, no, my car stopped dead in the street, saw the big lights, saw things moving in the windows, and then as fast as it was there, it was gone.
Well, I mean, the government did confirm this year that aliens are actually real.
Thanks,
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So
So you never know. I don't think I missed anything. I
Just
think I heard
to
everything.
dig on this like a little bit. I mean, if they were to use something like uranium or some nuclear particle with fission involved, it would create the experience of an EMP, just like an atomic bomb. So that would be a thing. People missing chunks of time. She said as fast as it was there, it was gone. And a lot of other reports say same types of things like, whoa, my car stopped and then all of a sudden started again and I was on my way.
Yeah.
You know, and then people are missing chunks of time from that. Even though it doesn't look like it, they're like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah, well, I asked her. She said it was literally only a few minutes. Like, it was nothing. It was just a few minutes, and then she was home. So, I don't know. But, I mean, and the fact that she called the local paper, and they were like, yeah, no, we're getting a lot of calls about this. I was like, well, that made me feel better for her. Because she's getting mocked and made fun of at home for this. They're like, oh, you're crazy. And she's like, I know what I saw. She's like, she's never seen... She's like, it was bigger than a plane. She's like, I've never seen something this big before. Like, she's like, and it was just hovering above her. Like, it was close enough for her to see inside a window.
Right.
So I was like, ooh.
That's still scary. Even if she imagined that, that's still like...
Yeah, it's like, what just happened?
That's something. Regardless of whether she did or did not see it. I believe she saw it because...
I do too.
I always think, like, all that extraterrestrial stuff, spiritual stuff, whatever you want to call it, definitely is real. Because I've experienced some things, and I have another story, but I think I'm going to let you guys get to your section first.
Okay.
And then at the end, I'll probably tell it.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
we
we're
get a
down,
surprise
please.
story at the end? Fuck
Come on
yeah.
in. We don't, we're good. We have all the time in the world right now.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
And if y'all want to hear my alien story, I can tell that too.
Uh-oh.
Oh, okay. I haven't gotten touched by aliens, so I can't
Neither
really,
have I, thank God.
I really can't
I'd
tell
rather
you.
not.
I don't think I've seen anything extraterrestrial. Like maybe that one time with you at the
South Amboy waterfront. It was a meteor.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean it
Extraterrestrial.
But at the time, we
literally
didn't know.
extraterrestrial.
At the time, we were like, it was just a big, hot, flaming rock with a tail of colors going across the sky, and we were both screaming. We're like, "What is that?"
Yeah, I swear to God, I thought it was like an
It was
alien.
our first date.
Yeah.
Too. It was our first official date as a couple, and we were just like, "What the fuck is that?"
That was a good sign, I think.
Yay! Good luck. I hope.
So I guess I'll just dive on.
Are you starting with the?
I was gonna start shortest to longest.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Whatever you want.
okay, and I'm diving into some of the submissions from Reddit right now.
Yes, thank you guys again. Thank you for everyone who's checked out our podcast, subscribed, followed,
We
listened,
live for
everything.
you.
Thank you so much. And I hope you submit more and listen and
Please.
interact with us.
Please.
We appreciate it so much.
And this one is from Criss, not me, but another Criss, and they are in their current location of Switzerland.
Oh, yeah.
So, my name is Criss. I'm 20 years old and from a small country of Switzerland, and this is my story. It was around May 2015, and back then I was in high school and lived in a small village called, and I'm going to slaughter this, Arrowwagon.
Okay.
Anyone want to double confirm on that before I...
I forgot to
Era.
to make sure. I forgot to find out the proper pronunciation.
I think
I'm gonna go with what you said. What at?
In maybe Wagon.
Wait, Wangan?
Wangan.
well, they probably have
Wagon?
an accent on it, so
Yeah.
it might be
Yeah.
a little different, but
31 miles away from the capital, Bern. So it's like, just outside like a big city.
Yeah.
It's almost like us to New York City.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. I was on my way home with friends when I heard something coming from an old abandoned mill. which probably looks like something from the 17th or 18th century. That's pretty old.
Just
That's
scary.
like
Sketchy.
1700s. And this country is also pretty old. It's way older than the United States of, 255, 256 years?
Yeah.
So they've got a lot of creepy history going on there. They heard this sound from the old abandoned mill and went to investigate. They climbed over a chain link fence and looked for a way in, but there was no way. Now, I've been there. In fact, 2 weeks ago. Sometimes you look for a hole and you find that hole, and then you're like, should I really go in there? He only managed to look through a window, but in this window, he saw a skeleton hunched over a table. And then somehow, the head slowly started to tilt. My first thought was, holy shit. And then I leaped over the fence and bolted the hell out of there.
I would have.
Yeah. No, I would have been gone. Nope.
That is actually
That's horrifying.
creepy as hell.
I would. Nope.
I wouldn't even climbed over the fence to get in there, to be honest.
Yeah, I would have been like, okay, that fence is probably there for a
Yeah,
reason.
Chris
get there.
from Switzerland, you are way braver than any of us.
Yes.
We're like, no, thank you.
I don't know how you walk through doorways with balls that big. And what's crazier is that inside everyone, there's a skeleton. So, if you're ever scared, you're only centimeters away from a skeleton.
True.
So, I don't know. It's pretty fucking scary, especially if its head just...
You just start tilting. No, thank
As
you.
soon as you look, it's not even tilted before
Yeah.
you look.
Yeah, no,
It's
it's
as
just
soon
like,
as you decide to look, it's like, oh, now let's move.
Yeah, seriously. It hasn't been bothered since like the
I
17th,
cry.
18th century. And it was finally like, oh, someone's there. It's my time to shine.
Gotta do it.
No, I'd start crying. No, no.
Trying to give him the old razzle dazzle. But that's horrifying.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I want to go to Switzerland.
Same.
But I don't want to visit this small village
I
because
mean, low key, I would. I just wouldn't. I
don't wanna go to the
wouldn't hop
mill?
The fence. No, I'd go. I just wouldn't like get close.
No.
No, but like it's kind of interesting. I want to see it.
Well, there's obviously a skeleton that wants to see you there.
Listen, I'm not getting close enough to go look at the skeleton. No, I won't. I know myself. I'm like, I know myself. I'll get to the fence and go, yeah, we can go now. Let's go back home. Let's catch a flight.
Was it really a skeleton?
Oh, God, what are you saying?
Like, what are the chances that this old abandoned building just happened to have a skeleton still standing, like still sitting there, chilling?
I mean,
Skeletons aren't held by anything. Muscles would hold us together. A skeleton doesn't stay naturally together.
true. I don't know. I don't
If it's
know.
hunched over, I mean that it's either some type of... No, decomp would have taken over a long time ago.
Well, you don't know how long it's been there.
I was gonna say we were just assuming.
Oh,
that
that's fucked up.
That skeleton.
I mean,
that's even scarier.
It's abandoned. It's fenced off.
Fuck
it's a great
that.
place for a body dump. I'm not gonna lie.
That.
Yeah,
Fuck that.
it could have.
And
been
like,
from
we
any
don't know
time.
that it was just a complete skeleton. Like, it could still have had something attached to it. You never know.
I really hope not.
I watch a
'cause
lot of bones
thank you
lately.
for not going into detail. What
This
was
man saw a skeleton hunched over a table.
that? Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
The fact that he was brave enough to get that close and then look inside and see a
Yeah.
skeleton,
Chris from Switzerland,
you're a brave man.
you are a brave
appreciate
ass
you.
man. Oh, God. Yeah, no thanks. I'm gonna chill from that and not do that. I have two. I have Katie or Mary.
well, Katie's is the longer one, so it's up to you. You said you want to go shortest to longest.
Yeah, okay. So next story happens to be from Mary.
Mary, shout out.
Shout out to you, Mary.
You're awesome.
Thank you for writing in because we live for your stories.
I think, Mary, we were talking... Yes, Mary, we were talking about West Virginia, and oh my gosh, there's so many places I want to go and ghost hunt in West Virginia now. Besides, like, where my family lives, I want to go deep into West Virginia.
I don't.
I will not. I will keep my distance from West Virginia.
I will stay away from deep in West Virginia. Thank you. That being said, Mary from Reddit, here's
Yes.
your story. When my husband and I first met, he lived in a tiny house in his friend's backyard in an old mining town called Leadville, Colorado. Almost all the houses there are 100-years-old homes, and the town itself has quite the history. Baby Doe Mine and the unsinkable Molly Brown.
Yes.
So it's no surprise that there are a few restless souls. You know, here's my problem already in this first paragraph. Mining towns. Mining towns. Haunted as hell because of all those mining accidents.
Oh, yeah.
collapses.
When you rely on a
Tragedies
canary
there.
to tell you that there's poison gas coming out, there's already some type of slow thinking going on. But, you know, and then we're just going to put dynamite in this cave and we're going to see where it goes. So, I can tell that there are going to be tons of restless souls just hanging around because the mining towns used to have, like, almost their own currency, their own communities built on this area. And, like, the living age was, like, 48.
Yeah.
Well, when you breathe in poisonous fumes for
Day in, day out.
Yeah.
20 years of your adult life, you don't live long. That's
No.
like doing crack for 30 years and then expect to be healthy. That's not how that works.
Oh, man, that's not how my dentist recommended the whole time? I was wondering why my teeth weren't getting better.
It wasn't the Mountain Dew.
He said, gargle with Mountain Dew and then take my bowl of crack every morning. What the fuck? Okay, so back to it. My now husband is an acupuncturist, which means he's very in tune with his energies. I love murder and ghosts, so I like to think that makes me equally in tune.
Same.
One night, when we were at my friend's house, the lights were off in every room but the bedroom doorway we were standing in. Chatting, I catch a strange flash out of the corner of my eye from the front of the room and think nothing of it, as there's a busy road in front of the house. Until I realize it's not moving. It's on the ceiling. And the light is red. Mm-hmm. Just as I start to look back more closely, my husband unexpectedly turns to me and says, "We should go back outside." As I start to leave, I see a tall, dark figure sitting in a chair, legs stretched out, ankles crossed. He had a 10-gallon hat on and was standing straight up, chilling. I say to my husband, "Do you see..." But before I could get the words out, he says, "Yeah, just keep walking and don't look around." I hurried, keeping my eyes forward when we got outside, and I asked my husband if he had saw the man. He says, "Yes, and there were others, and I didn't want you to see them." Okay, cool. I wanted to puke and die. Fair. That would be my reaction too, especially if I'm having a ghost hoedown, in a dark room.
That sounded like some... Was that
Oh, no. I can see the man in my head. My husband and I still talk about it. He says he's always felt something in that house, but that was the first one he's seen. I have several more from life at 10,000 feet. Children running and crying in an empty house, bed shaken by unseen hands, not to mention our 2-week honeymoon to ghost towns in Montana, but I'll leave those for another day.
And I can't wait to hear them. I'm so excited.
Oh, no.
So she had Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome, sitting in her friend's
Dark living room.
dimma chillin' in their dim living room, having a dimma party. I'm dimma the fuck out of there. That's crazy. No.
The fact that they both saw it.
Yeah, it'd be fucking dimma
Yeah,
done.
that's...
But my question is, she said that they were at a friend's house, correct?
Yeah.
So why were they in the bedroom with the light on?
They were chilling and chatting.
Like, were their friends there with them talking?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I guess so. I'm not sure.
All right.
They could be. They could
Swinging
not be.
and ringing?
Yeah, I mean, you never know.
I know, who
No
knows?
judgment here. I don't know
Yeah,
what's going
and
on.
I don't kink shame.
I'm just trying to figure out the whole story.
The whole
because
dynamic, yeah, because, like, what's going on?
Why were they there if those friends weren't there? That's what I want to know. If they were there, then it's fine. But
Nah, they
I
were
was just
chatting and
curious.
chilling with their friends.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So then if you're going through the house and you see all this, you're not going to say nothing to your friends.
I'm just gonna leave.
Nope, I'm out of here.
I mean,
Sorry,
she
friends,
did. She did
bye.
try to say something,
She did try to say something. Her husband's like, we gotta go.
but
We
her
gotta be
husband was
out."
like, "Don't dim a look now. There's a dim a ghost."
I just really hope that they friends is okay, because unless they can't see him, then they fine. But like, if they can see them and they're just going about their days with them just chilling in the house like that,
I wonder what the red light was. I wonder what that was.
it could have been
I
a
think-
signal to get them all into that house.
Maybe.
I think it was totally unrelated.
I hope so.
I don't know. I want to know because all of a sudden you're drawn in by a red light on the ceiling, and then there's a ghost party happening. Like, what's going on?
Maybe that was their party light.
Ooh.
Oh man, ghosts turn on the red light to party. That's. You ever hear of a ghost brothel? Boo jobs.
Oh, good Lord.
So that was Mary's story that she sent us from the Dimsdale Dimmadome. And that was really awesome. Super down with that, except for ghosts having parties in any part of my house whatsoever.
Actually, anything
they could
anywhere
hold
around me.
Any 10-gallon hats around me, probably. Yeah,
Listen,
I'd freak out.
as long as I'm invited, at least give me the option to attend the ghost party.
Do we have to wear 10-gallon hats?
I hope so. If
And
it's a
cowboy
theme.
boots.
I'll pick them up anyway.
Just have them just in case. Have it
wanna
waiting
be
in
on
your trunk of
theme.
your car. Always ready for a ghost cowboy party.
Honestly.
Always ready for a spooky square dance.
Oh, there we got the title of the episode.
What about a haunted hoedown?
Oh, there it is.
Oh man.
Do you want me to read this last one, or you got this?
Yeah, I got this. I'm gonna take a crack at it.
It's a long one.
It is a long one.
Shout out to Katie.
Yeah, Katie from Reddit. Shout out to you. And these are her ghost experiences from a townhouse she lived in from 7 to 14.
This one gets wild, guys. Because, I field all the stories, so I know what happens. And this one's a good one.
I'm gonna strap in. I've got my ghost pants on right now, and my ghost dungarees.
Okay,
So
perfect.
I'm super excited. When I was younger, around 7, my family moved into a townhouse sandwiched between 2 other units. These townhouses were nice, and if I had to guess, I'd say only about 10 years old maximum. When we first moved in, my room was painted a dark blood red color. My mom hated the color, so we painted over it shortly after because it made the room feel ominous.
Yeah.
Obviously. My room was then a blue with white puffy clouds instead, and then we installed a cute pink and green pastel ceiling fan. One day I was sitting on the floor under the ceiling fan, and I do not remember what I was doing at the moment, probably doodling or something 7-year-olds do, but suddenly the bubble light that covered the cover fell off the fan, which was not on and hadn't been on all day, and it crashed directly on my head. It shattered me and covered me and my floor with glass. It left me with only a bump on my head, luckily, but this was my first of many scary encounters at this townhouse. So already, we have ghost fans attacking,
Yeah.
dropping full-ass glass dome lights on heads.
Something's not happy.
Something's not right, especially if it's already painted blood red. Don't they tell you to paint the walls white once you leave?
I guess so. I don't know.
At like apartments and stuff, depending
Oh,
on...
yeah. You're usually supposed to be like... most apartments can't even paint your house. Yeah.
They were lucky to even get that done.
That's true. I mean, granted, it could have... could they just fall? Are they screwed in? I don't know.
What?
Like the
Dome
glass dome over the... I don't know.
No,
Like
they're screwed in. They usually have like 3 screws to secure them.
Okay, because like on my ceiling fan, it looks like a flower and the bulb's in the middle, so it's not like covering it. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't sure.
So the dome goes over like where the light is, and then
Yeah,
it's like a little lip
like-
where the little screws will go into it.
Okay,
You
so,
screw it
like,
in,
yeah,
'cause
how
I've had
did
to take
that-
one apart because one of mine broke. But
Mine broke in my room too, on my ceiling fan.
yeah, It's stupid
So
how
you
easy
It
can't
didn't
just-
fall though.
Can't just like unscrew itself.
No,
though. So, like,
it takes time. It's like thumb screws, so and they're pretty easy to tighten. Pretty hard to take off.
Okay, I just wanted to.
So just clarifying already. That's not, that's pretty suspicious. So the next year, the next ghost scary experience came years later, and I was probably 10 or 11, and my mom had hired a babysitter to watch me and my younger brother. When the babysitter got there, she sat on the couch and turned on the TV for us. She was in college, and my mom had hired her for someone who recommended her via word of mouth. While watching cartoons, she was typing away on her laptop doing homework when we started hearing strange noises upstairs. She stopped and asked what that sound was. I told her that this townhouse was haunted. My brother and I were used to the weird noises at this point, and she didn't believe me until the noises got more persistent. And she said she wanted to go investigate. You're making a fool's mistake, babysitter. When we went upstairs, where we were hearing the noises, she looked all around asking if there was a TV on or a radio or anything that could be making some sort of noise. We told her no and said let's go down backstairs. On the way down, the paper would not turn. On the way downstairs, me and my brother went first and made it to the living room with her following behind. She got about halfway down the stairs and suddenly fell. She tumbled down the stairs and popped back up off the floor as fast as she could, looking absolutely horrified. She called my mom and said she couldn't handle being in the house and left us kids alone to fend for ourselves. Later, my mom told me that she had claimed she'd been pushed down the stairs by something or someone. There was a point for a few years where my mom thought we were just making things up, but one night my mom said she turned on the TV and Scooby-Doo was on. Scooby-Doo is haunted as fuck. She was scrolling on Facebook and looking down at her phone when she heard the TV characters speaking strangely. She said it sounded like they were suddenly speaking in tongues, and the words weren't matching up with the characters' mouths as the syllables were leaving their mouths, and the tone of the voice didn't change or pause when the frame shifted from character to character. From then on, she started to believe, but she didn't tell us until we were older what had happened. But of course, being in a haunted house was fun for me because I thought it was incredibly interesting and loved the thrill of being frightened. So I did what any other middle schooler would do. I invited my friends over and we played with a hand-drawn Ouija board and shouted Bloody Mary chants into the mirror. Again, more people who have trouble walking through doorways with balls so ginormous. Damn.
The Bloody Mary stuff always scared me. I could never do that, like, at sleepovers.
They
and stuff.
drew a Ouija board. Bloody Mary be damned.
I mean, we talked about this in the episode with Sarah and Zach. Like, Sarah, my cousin, and her sister's friend, we did that too. Like, we made one out of cardboard, and it was terrifying.
Shame.
That's probably why you heard the voices screaming.
Yeah, right. All these years later, I don't mess with real Ouija boards. I cannot. I'm
After
too scared.
these things started occurring more and more, the situations got increasingly worse. Obviously, by doing all these, they were infuriating and manifesting something more than was there. Just saying.
Yeah.
One night when I was cleaning my room with my headphones on and the music blaring at full blast, I heard my name being called. I took off the headphones and listened, and again my name was called out. It sounded like my brother, so I opened the door, expecting to see him on the other side. When the door opened, no one was there. Mm-hmm. So I shut the door and went back to cleaning, thinking he had just got impatient, and went back downstairs after I didn't respond. Pretty fair. Then again, not 2 minutes after, my name was called again. I didn't respond. I flung the door open after and yelled, "What?" No response. So I walked downstairs. No one was inside the house. My brother was outside riding his bike. My mom was sitting on the steps in the front of the house. The next night, my closet doors flung open at an aggressive speed and started to alternatively swing open and close for over a minute.
No, thank you.
I cried to my mom and she said that it was just the AC, but the swinging doors to my closet were heavy, and I couldn't believe that air could fling them open that fast. Weeks go by and my friends are back at my house for a sleepover, and we're all sitting on my bed when suddenly the whole mattress starts to shake violently back and forth, and it felt like something was banging on it from underneath my bed.
No.
My friends were so scared they convinced me to go with them to one of their houses for the night instead. And we stopped messing around with the Ouija boards and stopped making jokes about it because it was becoming real to us. Things went quiet for a while, but then one day after school, me and one of my friends were sitting on the couch in the living room watching TV when she said she started to feel uncomfortable. She said she felt like something bad was about to happen and she wanted to go outside. I said, okay, let's go outside then. We stood up, and soon as we did, there was a loud bang from the kitchen and we went running to the front door. I got to the door, which had a chain lock at the top and a normal deadbolt also. I flung open the door and was stopped by the chain at the top. The door was open a sliver. I slammed it shut, adrenaline pumping everything in my body, screaming, "Get out of here! Go, go, go!" And I go to open the door after taking the chain off, and it doesn't open. I fiddle with the deadbolt and try again, and nothing. Again, I turn the deadbolt, and still the door will not open. Me and my friends were hysterically crying until I sunk down to the floor into a fetal position, and my friend was fiddling with the lock until she also gave up. We just sat there crying in the front door that refused to open. Eventually, after things felt calmer, we opened the door on the first try and ran outside, and that's where we stayed until Mom got back home. From that day, my friends refused to come inside my house. A few years later, my family moved out after new additions to the family, and nothing like that has ever occurred to me since. No one has ever died in this townhouse. The new owners say they haven't experienced anything out of the unordinary. So did it just follow us and now lies dormant? Or did this spirit or demon just really not like us? You tell me. Side notes for those who are invested. My mom recorded a video from the Scooby-Doo incident, and when she went to show people, it was gone, but she knew she hadn't deleted it because she watched it earlier that day. When I got my first phone, I decided to do one of those photo challenges when you turn off all the lights, take a photo with the flash of your mirror, and I had taken a photo of something that was blood red and shaped like a man-animal creature. No, manimal. But it had no distinguishable features. I showed my mom, and she said that I had photoshopped it. Photoshopped it being a blanket term for photo editing. Mm-hmm. And but the photo was taken on a flip phone with no apps or internet. And I no longer have that phone or the SIM card, or else I would have included the image. Bingo bango, that was the end of the story from Katie from Reddit.
That is holy. I would have.
That took a lot of energy out of me. And just like
that was holy Dangerfield right there.
Scary.
My ear is fucking bit off right now.
I would have been gone. You couldn't have get me back in that house. I don't care if I was living there. I would have left.
I don't care about anything. Scooby-Doo in tongues?
Yeah, no, that's... And the fact that, like, the video just erased itself off
Ruby-dooby-doo, ectoborata.
Oh, my gosh. But you hear, like, stuff of, like, people, like, recording stuff or putting on their phone, and then all of a sudden it just disappearing off their phone. Like, our friend Kate... We were at her house doing the investigation like a week or two ago, and she tried taking pictures and stuff, and she went to go check them, and they were gone off her phone instantaneously. And this is while we were getting EVPs and stuff, like responses in her house. Like, not EVPs, getting the K2 meter responses.
EMF responses.
Yeah. And she was just like, guys, I watched her take these pictures and record stuff, and she's like, look, it's not even in my recently deleted, they're just gone. So that was, like, this is a thing that happens, apparently. And that's a no from me, thank you.
Apparently. That's a thing that happens.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you guys moved out. Yeah, I'm glad they got to move. I'm glad it hasn't happened since they've moved. I'm also happy that the people who now live in their townhouse have had no interactions, because what the fuck?
I mean, they probably don't want to tell them to confirm it, but if
You
it
I
is-
mean,
legally
true.
have to tell someone if someone died in your house, but you don't have to say shit about paranormal activity.
Actually, that's not the truth. Some states you legally have to.
About paranormal activity?
About haunted houses, yes.
Paranormal activity, if you will?
Yeah,
Imagine.
you legally have
Nope.
to in some states. I'm almost positive.
Nope.
Like,
How
Google this.
about nah?
Unfortunately for me, that's more of a selling point. I'm like, oh, a haunted house, let me check it out.
And I will live in a tiny house on the property.
I tag Chris all the time in like
Check
the
this shit
old
out. It's
homes that
haunted
are
as
for-
fuck.
No, it's not even that. It's the houses that are older that are for sale because they're cheap because they're old.
Check this
and
out.
I'm
It's
like,
haunted as
hey,
fuck.
and he goes, that place is haunted. We're not going there.
Look at that. That looks like a plantation. We are not going there.
I like the way you think.
Yeah, it's fuck that.
Listen, it's about the content, baby.
It's
No haunted houses for me. Whoever wants that, you can have them. Paige, you can have them all.
You're not gonna visit us at all, are you?
no, ain't no reason why.
Haunted, I'll see you. I'll stay 6 feet outside your house. And be
Perfect.
like,
Oh, social distance.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey. Now that converted church, however, that
Oh, that
That was kinda rad.
There's like this really old church. I don't remember. Was that in Pennsylvania or was that
yeah,
in New York?
Pennsylvania.
And it's for sale for dirt cheap. And it's literally all the stained glass is still there. There's some creepy crosses on the wall, which I'd be like,
That's
but
fine.
It is a church, so I mean, hi.
Flip them.
if they don't flip by themselves.
Yeah, exactly right. But it's so beautiful, and I've always wanted to live in a like converted church, like that's made into a home
I would
or a firehouse.
feel so weird about that. Like,
Well, first of all, I don't have to travel if I want to pray in the house of God, because the house of God's my house. Second of all, the recording acoustics.
Beautiful.
I can preach if I want to.
The stained glass windows.
I don't have to clean the glass because it's already stained.
Oh my god.
exactly.
I just love the stained glass windows.
There's probably an organ. Come on.
Built in.
Yeah.
Not only is it there,
It's probably built in to the. Yeah. I mean, like, what more could I ask for?
And it's huge.
I
'cause
need a
it's
priest to come
church,
with
so
it.
we can have people over.
Yeah, you would
Unlike
need
my
to get
tiny
that.
ass house right now.
Father in a box. Yeah, this came with the came with the
Waiting for
church.
lightning. Oh gosh.
We're on the 5th floor. Lightning. You know where to come. Sweet 501.
I'm gonna kill you.
We're talking about the Tampa Bay Lightning, right?
No, thank you. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so those were this week's submissions. We have more for next time. For the next time we do a write-in episode. And I can't wait for everyone to hear them.
Oh, you saw all of them already?
Oh, I've been fielding these for like over a week now.
Oh,
I have everything. We have a lot of great guests coming up that I actually got because of Reddit. We have some very interesting people coming on, so I'm very excited.
Okay.
So make sure you guys stay tuned.
Eriq, you had another sweet story for after we'd finished these submissions.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna probe into you like these aliens probed into you.
Oh gosh.
So this story isn't scary.
Okay.
So just preface that.
It's thrilling.
It's more of the reason why I believe in these ghosts and spirituality and extraterrestrial things. So, I want to say this was recent. Well, not so recent, but more recent than the other stories. I would say I was about maybe 20, 21. I had finished playing basketball with my friends and took a shower. I'm exhausted because I spent all the energy or whatever. I go into my room and I go to sleep. And mind you, it's not like super late, but it is kind of late. It's like 2 a.m. now at this point because I was up and doing stupid stuff. And I fall asleep. And when I fall asleep, I'm having this dream where I'm like flying kind of, where I'm like seeing over cities and towns and stuff. I don't know exactly what the surrounding area was.
It's like Minecraft on creative mode.
Basically, you're doing that. Like you're
Okay.
just exploring and seeing all this stuff. And I'm seeing these buildings, and then we get down. Like I go down to street level, and I'm going, and I turn into this random place, which I think is random apparently, but turns out to be my house.
Whoa.
Okay.
I go into my house, go up my own stairs, make the right, and go straight into my own room.
I'm obviously going to go into my own bedroom because
Yeah.
what else would I do?
Right. But the difference is I'm still in the bed.
So you basically okay. So
Hey,
I'll say what I have
wait,
to say after.
are you sleeping?
So you're watching
I'm
yourself
supposedly sleeping, but I see myself in the bed sleeping.
Also sleeping.
Yes. So then, it's kind of like how you cut like cameras, how you like switch the.
switch view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I switched the point of view, and
Your POV went to.
right. So I was first. Before I switched, I moved up to myself to check myself out to see if I was me. I guess I reached out to myself, and that's when it switches, and I start feeling something while I'm sleeping. Mind you, I feel something like touching my face. I'm like, what is that touching my face? And I open my eyes, and then I swing, like I throw a punch, just to like get it out of there, whatever it was, and there's nothing there. So I wake up officially now, and it's like 6 a.m. I'm just like, what was that? So my assumption of what actually happened was I astral projected.
I was just gonna say that. That's exactly what I was gonna say.
And I mean,
It's so new agey and weird to say astral projection, but it's more. But I can't think of another better term for it.
right.
Yeah.
So like I did that accidentally. I've never done it again, but I did that, and then I touched myself. Why I touched myself, I have no idea. It kind of was me, but not me. So like I had no control, but I could see where I was going in a sense. So something was bringing me where I was going, but I knew where I was and I knew who I was. So it wasn't like I was just like imagining this whole thing and not feeling. I literally felt something touching my face. Ugh. And it felt like, you know those little things you put on your head, like the head massager things?
Yeah, with the little like
claws?
yeah.
It kind of felt like somebody was doing that, but like rapidly, like all over my face. And I'm just
God.
like, that's why I swung. 'Cause
Yeah, I
I'm
would
like,
too.
It's tickling me, so I wanted
Don't
to
fucking
stop.
touch me.
So I swing, and I'm just like, what? What just happened? And I didn't like comprehend until like the next day, and I was just like, whoa, what the hell? And it reminded me when Vince was talking about that other stuff. I forget exactly what he said, but he said something, and I was just like, yo, I should tell you guys this story because that was definitely an experience, and I wish I could do it again, but actually control it and understand like what I'm doing.
See, that's the other thing, because say if you were dreaming, you'd be able to control it with lucid sleeping, but if it wasn't dream related and it was just happened to be your consciousness kind of being like, okay, let me find my body again. Is that what sleep is? It's just like your consciousness is all right. I'm just peacing out for a bit,
free roaming around, and then
comes back when you're, your body's done charging.
Maybe, I don't know.
Like a phone?
Well, your brain, there are little tunnels in your brain that collect thing called microtubules. It's essentially little particles that are smaller than quarks that vibrate, and that vibration is theoretically supposed to cause your consciousness. And your brain is the receiver to those because the particles are out in the universe. You know, they say we're like relatives of stardust and stuff from millions of years ago. So that's where consciousness would come from as well. And when they stop vibrating is when the receiver turns off and it goes back into the universe.
Weird.
So you're saying that our brain is basically like
a big receiver.
I mean,
it's miles of receiver crammed into your skull.
So we as a human body are like the antenna. Essentially, we protect the
body's more of like a meat Gundam. your consciousness is the pilot. This needs to recharge, and your brain does all the rest for you.
It does it by itself too. It doesn't need no guidance.
Subconsciously, yeah. So think of that as you will. That could be it.
Wild.
And you could have been experiencing that. But yeah, you don't know. It's weird because you don't understand the planes of reality that exist outside of this one singular moment in time.
Yeah.
Where because we're all here, we're all manifesting this all to be real. But once we're separated, we all have these different perspectives that create a shared reality. But it's only when we're sharing.
A shared universe.
Damn it! I knew it was gonna happen.
And on that one, because we're at a shared universe, we should probably sign off before I get into a tangent.
Do you want my alien story?
Absolutely. Wait a second. Yeah, give me your alien story, sweet love.
All right. So, I actually started thinking about this when we first started the podcast. So this was a memory I've had for a very long time. And for a very long time, I tried to be rational and convince myself that this didn't happen until I reached out to my friend who this happened with, and she confirmed that this happened.
Oh, my God. My God. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So, I must say, gosh. So, when I was in elementary school, my best friend, her name was Melissa,
Fifth or sixth grade, right?
Well, I'm not sure how old we were when this happened. I know we were between elementary and middle school, because I wound up going to a different middle school than she did, but we still stayed friends. We're at her house. I'm not sure if it was for her birthday or she just had a big sleepover. It was like 12 girls. Like, it was a bunch of us, and we're young. And we're in her backyard. Now, her backyard, it's fenced in, but behind that's a big open field of all, like, the giant electric towers. And so, that's already given off a weird vibe because there's 40-foot electric towers out there. So we're all hanging out. It's pretty quiet. It's going kind of like dusk out. It's still bright out. All of a sudden, all 12 of us who were just playing in the backyard talking, all of us just stop what we're doing, stop talking, turn around and look up. Hovering just above the tops of the big electric towers was a giant spacecraft, like a big UFO. I remember it being triangular in shape, and I don't remember if Melissa had said she remembered the shape, but it hovered over us. It kind of made a low-grade humming sound, and then all of a sudden it took off. Like, we must have been staying there for like a minute, and then it was gone, and there was lights going around it. Sorry.
Continue.
All of us scream. You have 12 screaming middle school age girls running into the house and hiding because we were like, what the fuck was that? It was so close, and it was just above the power lines, and then it was gone out of nowhere. And so forever, I was like, I remember this happening. I don't think anyone else does, because I don't even remember anyone else who was at her house. Like, I obviously didn't keep in contact. Her and I lost contact, but social media is a great thing, so we're friends on Facebook. Mm-hmm. And so we're like creating what we wanted for this show. We had already recorded our first episode, but hadn't put it out yet because Corona happened and stuff. So I was like, Chris, I remember this story. Let me reach out to Melissa. She answers me back immediately. She's like, I can't believe you remember this. She's like, I was just telling this story the other day to someone. I was like, oh, so you clearly remember this happening too. She's like, yeah. She's like, I can't believe someone else remembers. That was so cool that she remembered it too. I was like, all right, this is validating, because what the fuck did we see?
I would be shook.
I was screaming. We're sitting at my kitchen table, and I was like, "I remember." So I was just like, "Oh my god, I'm not nuts."
They're redefined now as a UAP.
Yes.
An unidentified aerial phenomenon, or an unidentified ass pussy.
Oh my god. UAP, UFO, whatever it was crazy. I don't know what it was. I don't know if the government is doing something. I don't know. It couldn't have been a weather balloon. It was too fucking big.
That's a big ass weather balloon.
Like, this shit was bigger than her house. Like, it was huge. And it was just everything just got so quiet. Kind of like how my grandmother said, like, everything was quiet. There was no one else around. It was just us in the backyard. None of her neighbors was out. It was quiet out.
I wonder why it was at the power lines.
Yeah, that's another thing. It was over the power line. So, like, what's going on?
What kind of radiation does power lines cause?
Well, Avenel, where I live, is super irradiated, yeah. Like, they have to do soil samples of, like, the park every 3 years. It has to close down for, like, a week to make sure that it's safe enough for kids to play in. Like...
Radical.
Yeah. There's the college section of Avenel, where all the college streets are. A lot of people, women especially, get really bad cancer and die from it. And it's all the same type of, like, uterine cancer and breast cancer, and it's a lot of, and not just the women. It's more. It's from what I've seen and what I've heard from people talk about. It's mostly women, but also a lot of guys just randomly die from like cancer that comes on suddenly because you're living there, you're drinking the water. Our water was marked last year as one of the most, like, from the county, like one of the most unsafe to drink or something, like out of the tap.
You can't even filter radiation though, right? That's
And like they turn, like, so we used to have this old GM plant like right across the street from me, like literally just on the other side of the bridge, of the train bridge, and they apparently fixed the soil over there by I guess they tested, turned the soil, added new soil in, but they never like
I
the
don't know if you
radiation,
can, like,
and now people
disperse
live on it.
radiation easily.
Well, you have to wait for its half-life to expire, and then you have to wait for it to do it again and again and again to disappear. And the only way to solve that, if you've ever looked at the Ukraine, is concrete or sand and boron. But concrete has been the better suggestion, but after seeing how Chernobyl has fanned for the last, 30 years now, since it's been in the sarcophagus, we've realized that we need another bigger concrete sarcophagus to stop that radiation, because, man, it's pouring out of there like a waterfall.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine that the radiation that's still there on the... New Jersey is known for oil processing and... like manufacturing and things like that. It's way easier to call it the garden state than the oil refinery state.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of factories and things there doing,
Yeah, one tanker blows up in any direction of me, I'm gone. I'm so close to so many. Like mere 5 miles, if that.
From like oil refineries and stuff.
Luckily, you're not close to Jersey City, because up there's only factories along the turnpike and stuff like that. So if something blows up over there, you're losing probably most of Jersey.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So.
Well, it's like the back of Avenel, too. It's all factories.
Yeah, it's all industrial.
All industrial.
And people live in that town safely?
Well, I mean, hi.
Well, live in that town.
Well, you know what's funny too? Yeah, that's about it. What's funny too is I learned, because I do my research. I'm in groups that talk about this stuff, talk about our town, and I've had issues with migraines my whole life, like really bad issues. My dad has, my uncle has, his daughter, my cousin have. We all live in this. At least my uncle doesn't live here now, but he did for most of his life. My cousin, she's lived here her whole life. My dad and I have lived here our whole lives, and apparently like a common thing are horrible migraines that last for so long and doctors can't like diagnose it. They're just like, oh, it's just a migraine. I was like, why do I have one every single day that didn't stop for a year then? Like, what's in my environment that's fucking with me? Because it's obviously we all live in the same town. There's other people who are not related to us who are having these issues.
Clearly,
I mean, you have to close the park every 3 years for a week or two just to make sure it's safe enough for the kids. Like, what the fuck?
Well, it's definitely not ghosts.
No.
But
it definitely affects the environment that you're in, and
Absolutely.
I mean,
and that means it's also affecting the food you're eating too.
Yeah, like I just finally convinced my family to get a filter, like a Brita filter for the water, because I refused to drink our tap water after the reports came out. I was like, I'm not fucking with this.
I don't know.
My dog gets filtered water. He doesn't even get water from the tap. I'm like, nope.
See, I was using a Brita filter, but our Brita filter was kind of cheap, I guess, and not so good. So we just upgraded to like the pure one.
Ooh, nice.
But it has like its own app, and you can see like because we couldn't tell when to change the Brita because our thing wasn't shifting right, so it's not working. So we just switched it over to the pure thing, and now we can actually
monitor how the filter is and how much it's actually filtrating.
Exactly,
and how when you change it out.
Yeah, like how many gallons and ounces is going through it, and you can see all that stuff.
What? I just literally
That's
threw
fire.
$30 at Costco and went, Brita filter pitcher.
You have that, and like the filter itself, it goes through so fast. Like I drink a lot of water myself. I drink a gallon a day at least.
Yeah, I've seen that shit you carry with you.
And I got her on the kick of like at least drinking a half gallon. Now, a gallon's a little extreme because that's just me.
Yeah,
I like to be hydrated.
Hear me out.
Hydration
How
station.
wild does it have to be that we have to get people on kicks of drinking water when it's 73% of
like
us?
Like the bottles that let you know it's time to drink, like they light up and stuff. There's an app for it. It lets you know.
I have a friend that just spent $60 on a bottle that does that.
I just go to Wawa and chug a gallon. But hey, if it's gonna get you to be on top of yourself and drink water, because sometimes there's days where I go by I don't think I've drank or ate a single thing. I'm just like, what did I do today? Why am I feel like I'm gonna die right now? It's like, have I even drank a sip of anything? Not even just water. Have I hydrated at all? Like, where am I?
Damn.
So you gotta do what you gotta do.
Right.
But
and living in a radiated town is not that.
Ooh, nope. No, it's
Right.
not. And I'm reading Radiation Girls right now, so hey, what up?
You can join Marie Curie.
Yeah, I want to watch that on Amazon Prime. Hello, shout out.
Speaking of hello and shout outs, do you got some sweet
Socials?
handles?
Yeah, I do. So on Instagram, if you would like to follow us and for exclusive content.
We're essentially a bar because we have so many fucking handles.
Oh, oh my goodness. At Ghosted WCP for our Instagram. And if you are interested in the Twitters, we are
GWCP
underscore podcast. I always have to really think about it hard so I don't fuck it up. But yes, and I will answer. I answer everything. I will retweet you. I will like your post. I will subscribe to your channel. Let me know. I'm around. It's really easy to talk to me. And if you have any stories or you'd like to be a guest on our show, you can reach out to ghostedwithcrissandpaige at gmail.com. Everything with correct spellings will be in the show notes, description below, wherever. And
you can check out Argento Studios at Argento Studios or on Twitter at Argento Studios. I'm pretty sure that's all. Like our handles are all.
I think so too.
Pretty much Argento Studios. We put out stuff at least 3 times a week. We always have content.
Baby.
Content.
Don't forget to check out the YouTube.
Oh, our
all that
YouTube
stuff is.
where it's popping. We have so many different things. You need to go subscribe now or you're going to miss out literally.
Truth.
We've been pushing content out for a year straight now, and it's been a great ride, and I'm so glad to be a part of it, and I'm glad that the podcast is a part of it, and I can't wait for, the future journey that we go. Hopefully we make it into our own studio space.
Right.
Whoop, that'd be great.
That's the
I'm so
plan.
glad Ghosted is able to jump on with you guys. This is awesome.
Yeah.
And remember, Spooky Saturdays are starting. You can find us on YouTube as well, Ghosted with Criss and Paige. Eriq, do you have anything you want to shout out? Socials, anything you're working on, anything at all? Hellos to anybody?
I would just like to say hello to the entire ghost community. Thank you for listening to me speak, because I don't really like talking to people, I just like to stay to myself. So thank you for listening. Also, thank you guys for having me.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome anytime. Thank you for coming on and telling us your stories.
Thank you.
Fuck you, Vince, for not staying. I
Bye,
appreciate
Vince.
Yeah, Vince, you suck, by the way.
We all looked up at the screen as if he was still there. Like, fuck you, Vince. No, we love you, Vince. Thank you so much anyway.
it. Thank you for
being
editing
here.
the episode. Woo!
Without you, our YouTube videos would not be up.
Correct. Exactly. And with that, guys, this has been another episode of Ghosted. Just subscribe and talk to us, and we'll be with you.
Absolutely.
Anyway, you have a wonderful day, guys.
Bye.